Hi, I'm Len Kaufman and welcome to another episode of All Things Cruise. Today we're on Prince Edward Island, Canada, famous for its lobsters. However, not everyone knows how to eat a lobster, so we've called in an expert to show us how. Her name is Megan and she's a native of Prince Edward Island. Here she is, Megan.
Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to Prince Edward Island. Of course, no visit here is complete without tasting one of these little crustaceans, our little friend here, the lobster. Now, anywhere that you try one, I am pretty much going to be able to guarantee that you're going to enjoy your meal. Of course, the question is, how exactly do we get the meat out from inside this red shell? It can be a daunting task. We'll come prepared from the kitchen for you, which is really a very handy thing. It'll come cracked. You can see here that there are some cracks in the shell of the lobster. Now, this is a 1.5 pound lobster. Now you're going to notice that I'm wearing a bib, and you might think that it's a little bit foolish, but you're going to want to wear one while you're having a lobster dinner. It's a pretty messy meal, and it's definitely going to help protect your clothes. You're also going to want to tie back your hair because you don't want that impeding your meal. Now the lobster is made up of a few different parts. We've got the claws at the front, and there's 2 of those. We've got our legs, and you'll notice that there are 4 on each side. These are tasty little guys. And of course, the tail, which is a delicacy. When I normally eat a lobster, I usually start with the legs, these juicy little guys that are on the side. They're very easy to tear off. You just reach in and twist. See how easy that is? It might not look like there's a whole lot inside this, but there's actually a little bit of meat. It's usually very sweet and a little bit of juice as well. And, well, you just have to put it in your mouth and eat it. Now, once I've gotten all the meat out of the leg, this is where this hand comes in handy. Done. Once I've taken all my legs off the lobster and, well, enjoyed the juice and meat that's inside, I usually start eating with the claws next. Now, as I said before, it's been cut for us by the kitchen downstairs. However, you do want to be careful. The shell is very hard, and there are some pointy parts on the claw, so when you're pulling it off, you're going to want to be cautious not to hurt yourself. Now, we're going to move on to eating the claw of the lobster. You'll notice this one has been cracked straight through from the kitchen downstairs, so I'm going to be able to remove that right off and set it aside while I remove the rest of the arm off the lobster. It takes a little bit of a twist, but it comes off quite easily. You'll see that. Now we've got a nice big piece of shell that's actually got quite a bit of meat inside. So to get into the arm of the lobster, well, you kind of just have to pick it up and start ripping into it. You can see that there's different joints throughout the arm of the lobster. And that's how they actually crawl around the bottom of the sea. But it actually makes it a little bit easier for us to dig in. Trips right across. Now, again, be careful because there are some pointy parts on the shell, so you don't want to hurt yourself. This is where the cracker comes into play. You want to be able to get inside this. Now we take our crackers and we're going to use these 2 points as meeting point to apply pressure onto the shell of the lobster. So we'll open it up, put it right on, and we're going to crack it. See? Actually just cracked. So this shell is empty. Came right off of the claw into the bin. And inside here, we've got lots of meat, and this is where our picker comes in. Take it, dig right inside the shell, pull the meat right out. So once the shell is empty, I toss it into the bin and go on to the next bit. Now, to you this might seem bizarre, but here on Prince Edward Island, this is pretty common fare. In fact, I don't know if I know of a kitchen that doesn't have a picker and a cracker in its drawers. Now we can't forget about the delicious meat that's inside the claw here. So, since it's already been cracked for us, we can try to pull it out, but you'll notice it sticks a little. You have to actually pull the claw apart. So you take both sides, be careful, it's a little bit sharp. Apply pressure and pull. This will allow the big chunk to come out nice and easily. In we go. And this is where we need our picker. Dig right inside. Pull it out. Here we go. And of course, once we've finished with our claws and our legs, it's time to dig into the tail. Now this can be a little bit messy, but it's already been cracked for us, like I pointed out before. And I think pretty much every single person who lives on PEI knows how to do this. You actually just have to grab the lobster, twist it, and pull. So at this point, we're going to dig into the tail. And you can see, since it's already been cracked by the kitchen downstairs, you can actually pull it apart quite easily. Now, we are eating an animal, so you can tell there's going to be a little bit of waste inside, and that's something that you want to avoid while you're eating it. So we're just going to dig it out and put it in our pail. There's lots of really delicious meat in here as well. And of course, like I said, this is where some of those napkins come in very handy. And now comes time to remove the meat out of the tail. You're gonna literally just take the meat, hold the shell, and pull. It comes out very easily. See, add that to our meat pile. Here's a little secret. Very end of the tail, we've got these little, almost look like fins. Rip those off. Twist. There's actually quite a bit of meat inside, and you eat that just like you eat the legs. Put it in. Now, as you can see, we haven't even pulled the meat out of the entire lobster yet, and we've already accumulated quite a bit. Now, this lobster was 1.5 pounds, which is a pretty generally common size for what somebody on Prince Edward Island would order or get from the market if they were taking it home to eat. And as you can see, it makes for a pretty good meal. Now, a lot of people think that there isn't actually a lot to eat inside a lobster, but I'm going to prove them wrong, and I'm going to show you just how much meat is actually inside. I'll pull the rest of my tail apart. Put that to the pile, and of course I want to save these juicy little bits. That's why we're wearing our bib. This, is a big claw. And pull. Comes right off. A lot of people think that there isn't anything to eat inside the body. There is a little bit of meat inside, and some people do find it quite tasty, but don't feel like you have to eat it. In fact, a lot of people on Prince Edward Island don't really like eating the body simply because it is such a messy thing to do. So I've removed all my legs, and now my body, since I am one of those people who prefer not to eat it, it's just so messy, I'm gonna go right into my tin. Save my legs for later. Yeah, this is definitely a lobster who's having an out-of-body experience. So, oh, goodness. I'm gonna need my crackers on this one. Again, crackers. It's all about pressure. And you're cracking. There it is. Cut right off. Big claw. There's some cartilage inside there as well. Dig out all that nice, juicy, sweet meat. Jump in. Pull another big piece in here. This. Finally, got our leg. There's really no right way to crack a lobster. You kind of just have to go for it. Of course, messier it is, usually the tastier. And then you just grab your picker, take all of that delicious meat out. There we go, we're all cracked up. Oh, that's it. That's all she wrote. And there we are. Look at all the meat that was inside. Makes for a delicious meal. And that's how we eat lobster on Prince Edward Island. I'm Megan. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope that during your visit, you'll be able to enjoy one of these guys as well. Right now, I know I am.